On Azure DevOps, there are a few ways to create pipelines. As you can see here on this tab, we have some of our most current version 00, which is our team repo pipelines have been run. And in the top right, you can create a new pipeline, and there's a few ways to do this. And if you go to the bottom and use a classic editor, you can create a pipeline with YAML. And YAML is a code that is produced when you create a pipeline in a different way, which can be using the tools that Azure gives you, in which you pick a repo and go through and edit it. However, I'll quickly show you what a YAML pipeline looks like. So to deploy our Hugo website, we have created these two YAMLs, and the first of which is a PI YAML. Now this is more of a checking YAML. So at the top you have a trigger, which means it's going to only be released when the branch on main is merged to from separate pipelines, as you can see in the bottom left. You work on a separate pipeline as it means multiple people within a team can do work without interfering on main, and it allows many people to do different things without having lots of conflicts. And then as the process goes through in the pipeline, you define the Python and Terraform version, which are two of the softwares we're using. The variables, such as the Terraform folder, the stage file, and the SA Hugo folder, which is essentially this folder here. The first stage is the checking stage. This uses Python and our test CI suite, which can be found here, which essentially runs two Python files which check that the files have no markdown or YAML errors. And this has been written to ensure that everything that goes through is succinct and the code makes sense. Then we go into the build stage. It's been starting with job 1. Initially use Hugo Generate. And Hugo is a software which you can use to make websites, to generate new static sites, such as the one that you will see later on, before using Terraform Initialize, which just initializes the Terraform software, Plan, which you input the variable files from the config folder of development, Persian, and Azure DevOps, which can be seen in the IAC config folder. This plan essentially uses all these other Terraform folders, such as the storage account and the Azure on resource group, to produce the resource group and storage accounts for which the static site will be stored in. The apply then applies these changes, assuming that no previous storage accounts are there with the exact same naming, and all variables, and Terraform has been defined correctly. And Terraform validate is a command which can be typed into the bottom into the overall governing folder to ensure that this is all correct. After the apply has gone through, an Azure file blob copy occurs in which the stage file is stored in a $web container. This then you then have the websites deployed to the dev site, which is the first of 3. This is where you can make edits and ensure everything is working correctly. UX testing is then carried out on the website, which is a user interface thing, making sure all the hyperlinks work correctly and the pages are shown as they should be. Finally, the last command is Terraform destroy. This means if any of these conditions aren't met and don't succeed, Terraform destroy will run and will destroy all the resources created as up to the point of which something fails, hence the condition failed.